long, dark, cold winter if you're a Rutgers men's basketball fan. But with the spring weather that's been occurring in the area this week, with Rutgers rolling in on a 2-game back-to-back victory streak here in Ann Arbor on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, live on the Peacock against Michigan, who was a half a game out of first place against blood rival Michigan State. Dusty May, a team with a lot of buzz, a lot of hype right now. Rutgers, with all its failures this year, with all its struggles, with all its adversity, after, in my opinion, the two most disheartening losses of the season, responded with 2 wins. And now they have an opportunity, if this team's ever going to get on a roll, if they're ever going to generate some magic here, and whether that leads to anything long-term or not, meaning changing their postseason fortunes. The point is, as longtime fans, we're looking for joy, right? And tonight is an opportunity for this team to show that, A, not only are they still engaged, are they still fighting, and that they still believe, but that they're able to produce some real joy here in a season that has been devoid of it all. They haven't had a 3-game win streak in Big Ten play. The only time they've won 3 in a row was the first 4 games of the season. They've won 2 games in a row in Big Ten play twice. The last time did not result in a turnaround as we had hoped. And time is running out. The positive is I think this team feels that urgency. And Dylan Harper, National Player of the Week, Dylan Harper, named by Naismith, if he can play the way he played the last 2 games, they have a chance against anybody. And if you look back at the first time Rutgers played Michigan, they lost by 3 points, and it was one of the most horrific offensive performances of the Steve Pikiell era. Let's look at it. Just in terms of the percentages, the numbers, Rutgers shot 38.7% from 2-point range. They were 27.8% from 3-point range on 36 attempts. They only got to the line 13 times. Both teams are really good to get in the line. So what's my point? They shot terribly. There was no Dylan Harper in that game. There was no Emmanuel Ebole in that game. And Jeremiah Williams was severely limited by the flu. He played 9 minutes and he had a turnover and a missed shot. That's all he produced. And Michigan won by 3 points. Yes, every game's different. Michigan has struggled mightily the last 2 games on the offensive end. They lost to Michigan State. They just squeaked out a victory against Nebraska, scoring 49 points. This is an opportunity for Rutgers to get a signature win on the season in Ann Arbor against a team that is fighting for the Big Ten title. And again, at this point, with this team at 500, with this team at 7-10 in the Big Ten, every game has to be looked at on its own. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to change the trajectory of the season. However, if you can win this game, you're then at Purdue, another team that's struggling. And then you're at home against Minnesota. Rutgers has a real opportunity here to generate some real momentum going into the Big Ten tournament. And the pipe dream, right? What it seems like the only path to the NCAA tournament is Rutgers wins out in the Big Ten tournament. Well, if you win out the regular season, you're going to be 10-10. Most likely, right now, it looks like, I know it says you have a 2% chance, but they have a chance of getting that 9th seed, which gets you that bye on the first week. And the best path to winning the Big Ten tournament is not having to play 5 consecutive games, especially with a guy like Dylan Harper. That is he going to be able to take that abuse by playing his game, getting downhill 5 days in a row? It's a lot to ask. 4 is a huge difference. It's still a lot, but just saying. The other point I would say going into this game, Ace Bailey has struggled. He's contributed in multiple ways, but he has not gone off offensively like he's capable of in quite some time. Michigan frustrated him mightily. It really started with that Michigan game. They double, triple teamed him. They obviously have the size with Golden and Wolf. But Dusty May admitted after that game, if Dylan Harper had played, they could not defend Ace Bailey the way they did. And guess what? They're not going to be able to do that tonight. Michigan turns it over a ton and does not turn over its opponents. That's a key in this game. Rutgers had forced 17 turnovers on Michigan in that first game. They did turn it over 12 times, which is way too many. In terms of turnover rate, Rutgers is pretty good. In terms of taking care of the basketball, they're 72nd nationally. Michigan does not turn teams over a bunch, but they turn it over a ton. They are 338th nationally in offensive turnover rate. The key, Rutgers has to create havoc. Physicality. I think Michigan, honestly, is I think the physicality of Rutgers, even though their defense wasn't great in that first game, it was better. And I thought that they brought the edge to Michigan that made them uncomfortable. And that, again, was without Dylan, Igbole, and Jeremiah. And whether Igbole can give you much tonight at all, he at least gives you some fouls to commit and some size to at least mix it up a bit with Wolf and Golden, something Rutgers did not have in that first meeting. Turnovers, if Rutgers can profit. This team has always been its best when they can score off of their defense. And they had a ton of transition points against USC. They need to replicate that tonight. They need to generate easy baskets off their defense. If they can force a lot of turnovers and take care of the basketball, if they can get second chance opportunities off offensive rebounds, they had a 15-5 edge against Michigan in that first meeting, but could not take advantage. And they have to get the free throw line. And yes, they're not going to have the home whistle, but they have one of the best free throw rates in the country in terms of getting to the line. Michigan does as well. They're both top 5 in Big Ten play. There's a clear path for how Rutgers can win this game. And they took 36 threes against Michigan. They can't do that again. You need Dylan Harper getting downhill and creating. If he can distribute and facilitate and create scoring opportunities for his teammates the way in which he did against USC, 9 assists, Rutgers is just on a different level, a different dynamic offensively. And this team should have all the confidence in the world going into this game. Zach Martini telling Jared Carino this week, Pico gave a pretty inspiring speech before Washington, talked about a text that a former player sent about being your own orchestra. Tune out all the noise, be in your own orchestra, control what you can control these last 5 games. Well, they're 2-0 since that happened. And this is a true opportunity to go in and make a statement to the whole Big Ten, to the fan base, to college basketball, that, you know what, the season hasn't gone the way you wanted it to, but we're still here, we're still fighting, we're still getting better. And you know what? It's not over till it's over. And there's plenty of reasons to be pessimistic right now with the way things have gone. But at the same time, the last 2 games, this team has shown some life. Can they build on it? Can they go out there and bring the energy, the urgency, the physicality, the necessary poise? Can Dylan Harper dictate the pace of this game? If he can control the pace of this game, if Rutgers can bring it on the glass, if they can wreak havoc defensively, force turnovers, keep Michigan on their heels, they have to do that from the opening tip on. I really believe they can win this game. I think this is the upset we've been waiting for. I'm just going to say it. I of course, I could be dead wrong. People love when I'm wrong. I think they're going to win this game. I'm calling it. They're going to win this game. And I think this team has some fight left in them. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go where everybody wants it to go, but you can't just show up at the Big Ten tournament and rattle off 4 or 5 victories in a row without some type of continuity, some type of momentum going into it. And if you win this game, you have a chance to, at a minimum, go into the Big Ten tournament winning 4 of your last 5. And like I said, if they win this game, you go to Purdue, you have all the confidence in the world there too. And Dylan Harper has a chance for round 2 against Braden Smith after facing him when he was still battling the flu. So I think this team has a chip on their shoulder. I think they have an edge. I think they know time is running out. And they have to put all their chips on the table here. And the competitors on this team, the freshmen, are, at this point in the season, they're a lot more experienced. They're still freshmen. But all 5 are getting minutes right now. Bryce Dortch's growth in the last couple of games has been significant. He's going to bring energy and physicality on the defensive end, disruptiveness. So is Grant. And I think the freshmen are going to be huge in this game. What offensive contributions can you get from J. Will? What can you get from Acuff? J. Mike has been pretty consistent lately. He had a great game against Michigan the first time. This team just needs to go in and play their orchestra. Focus on what they can focus on, control what you can control, and go down swinging. If you get punched early, throw the counter punch. I really think this team is coming together in a way that we had always hoped. We hoped it would not come in the last week of February. Not ideal, but never say never. Never give up. Don't ever give up. Jim Valvano, Rutgers legend. And I refuse to believe that this team can't generate some type of special moment this season. I refuse to believe it. And again, it might be too late to generate the special moment we've all hoped and expected going to the NCAA tournament and making a run. But every game now is an opportunity, and tonight is a huge opportunity. You win tonight, you're 8-10, you're definitely in the Big Ten tournament, and you have a chance to, finish anywhere from 9th to 11th. Right now they're in 11th. So this is big, and I expect a lot out of this team tonight. I think they're going to win. They are going to win. That's what I'm saying. Control the glass. Force turnovers. Get to that foul line. Take advantage. And just be connected. And I talked about it in my USC recap. The fact that they were connected on the floor up 8 with 15 seconds to go, and they're huddling up and they're talking and they're passionate. They weren't celebrating. They were focused on the moment. This team appears to be as locked in as they have all year. And that's why I'm optimistic, drinking my morning coffee. Thank you so much for listening and watching once again here at the Scarlet Faithful Podcast.